People with amputations have different attitude towards the amputation itself. There were jokes that if you lose any part of the body, then it will be immediate suicide. Get off the couch and start moving. There was annexation of Crimea, and the whole world recognized that this is unjust, and my decision to come to Ukraine and take a weapon in hands. So with my Belarus passport, I just came to the enlistment office in the 2016 and I said I wanted to serve. I passed the selection and I was enrolled in the 8th Regiment of the Special Operation Forces in Khmelnytsky city. After some time, after 3 years of service, during the combat assignment, I stepped on a mine. In 2014, when we discussed such an option, everybody joked that if you lose some part of the body, then it will be immediate suicide. Nobody wanted to live like this. But later, as I got matured during the war, I realized that such an option was possible. I knew that there would be always an alternative what to do. And as soon as I got blown up, at the same moment, I realized that I would try to remain in service and I would try to continue doing what I would be able to do, and this is what I have done. After the injury, more than 2 years, I served in the Special Operation Forces as an instructor using theoretical knowledge and my combat experience and just authority among the military. Before the injury, I didn't have any problems with the physical training in the army, especially in the Special Operation Forces, but all the training were adaptive targeted for a specific combat tasks or for long marches or for endurance. After the injury and I started to live on a prosthetic, I realized that I needed a certain physical activity, but it should be adequate. I tried a lot of things. I tried to continue CrossFit as I did before. I managed to do everything, but not with the same payload, and I realized that it doesn't do any good to my body. It looks impressive when you see a person on a prosthetic lifting a large weight, but it doesn't do much good to the person. I tried to run. Of course, you can do it only on a specific prosthetic. And after my first 1 year and a half of life with amputation, I found only one type of sport. It is swimming. I realized that I could swim without a prosthetic to the full capacity, without any harm to the body, with only good positive results. And after a year and a half, I found another type of sport of useful activities. It is a Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. My mate, since 2014, advised me, try this thing. There are people in the world with amputation that are doing this thing. Maybe it will work out for you. And yes, in October of 2020, I went into one of Kiev Jiu Jitsu gyms. I tried my first session and I understood that yes, it is adaptive, it could be, and I can take a lot out of this type of sport. And I trained for 8 months every day, sometimes twice a day. People with amputation have different attitude towards the amputation itself. Some don't care, they just they just move on. They consider their body as a resource. Somebody makes a big problem out of this. Psychologists can be useful to some, but not to everybody. And especially for a warrior, they understand physical. Warriors don't understand words. They understand when they are shown physically that you can do it, that you can also do it, or even better. And I like this idea, and it is worth promoting. That it can be an advantage, because in my gym, people who fight with me, they complain, they have difficulty working with me. I am a second-degree disabled, and people with sparring, healthy people are sparring with me on tatami, and they complain that it is difficult to them, or during the competition they say it is difficult to them to work with me. It works a lot. What was difficult? To adapt the training among the common usual people, because the training usually consists of the combination of quick run, stand up, sit down, and for that I needed to take off the prosthetic, put on the prosthetic, and that was the challenge. And hence appeared the idea with an adaptive gym. With Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, I realized that people with special needs, with amputation of legs, hands, or without a vision, blind, they need to train separately. And all the skills should be adapted to them. And so I have this idea to create such a gym in Kyiv, in Ukraine. And not only for militaries, but also for civilians, for children with inborn disabilities. So the project can be large. Everything depends on whether I will find resources from the government or from some private individuals. Brazilian Jiu Jitsu is only one thing of many. I found it for myself. It might suit somebody else, but everything I can say, get out of the couch and start moving. And what to do, there are many interesting things in the world.